All right, cool. So going to talk about setting up a pen test lab with Vagrant. And my name is Hammerton Mwawuda. I'm from Kenya. And for that disclaimer, if I yawn, it's about 9 p.m. here. So my brain is a bit shutting down. So yeah, let's get to it. So the objectives of this is to understand what virtual machines are, understand what Vagrant is and how to use it to set up virtual machines, install Metasploitable 3 and Kali Linux, and know how to use your virtual machines to perform a hack or just for your experimentations. Yeah. So of course, let's say, why should you have a lab? First of all, it's really, we don't have to say it, but it's nice for you to be ethical in this field, or you might end up somewhere you don't like. And I don't think being in jail for even a day is something you'd like. For experimentation and research, let's say you want to find out how something is done, instead of hacking a live system, you can just boot up your virtual machines and get to it. When you're preparing for a SAT, it might ask you how to use certain tools, and yeah, you can practice on your virtual lab. And for your own security, because you don't need to have a vulnerable machine in your network that leaves you vulnerable to attacks from outside. So yep. Oh yeah, also if it's necessary, if it's ever necessary, you can practice without internet connectivity. And yeah, that's an advantage of online labs. So what's a virtual machine? Well, it's an image that through the use of a virtualization software can be used to emulate a full working computer system. And if I could show you that, it's basically, yeah, basically this is your machine. It's a file. Let's get back to the slides. Yeah. So yeah, Vagrant is an open source software. It allows you to set up and to easily. Okay, that's relative. Some professionals I know really don't like Vagrant, say it's complicated, but it works for me, and that's also something I can say about InfoSec. There's no one way of doing something, so you don't have to use Vagrant. It's not a must, but it's my way, and I find it easy. Some people don't, so it's not. There's no one shoe fits all in InfoSec. Virtualization software is a software that allows you to run more than one operating system on your system, I'll show you later on. Yeah, it actually makes those files, the images, it makes the images act like a machine. Yeah. So yeah, why did I choose Vagrant? Why did I go the other way? It's because I feel like when you try and set up old machines, your system, let's say like if you try set up an XP box for now, it can be really time consuming and just messes up with you. You try some things and connection issues. You have to get plugins for certain interfaces. So yeah, that's annoying. We don't need that. Then Vagrant already has boxes hosted on its cloud. So what I'll show you is, if we go here, we'll see this is now the Vagrant cloud. So I already searched Rapid7, but if we remove this and just blank, you'll see there'll be like a different kind of virtual machines boxes. These are Vagrant boxes, they're not yet machines. So yeah, this is, for example, Ubuntu Trusty 64. That's 1404. This is the last. This is for. This means 2014 April. LTS is lifetime support, but I believe the support ended. Yeah, so this is for Laravel. If you're a developer, you can easily just start up your Laravel machine Vagrant, and yeah, you can start developing. Well, the rest, CentOS, they're all here. But one thing I'd mention is that these are community based, so you just have to trust them. Uh, yeah, some may work, some may not. So don't be disappointed if some don't. It's just how this is. And these are these are known as providers. Hope you can see me pointing. So like these are providers in Vagrant language is the virtualization software. So this will only run on VirtualBox. This one will run on Hyper-V, Parallels, VirtualBox, and VMware. So be wary of that if you're trying to add a system with Vagrant. So let's go back. Oh, I have to do it. This is annoying. So yeah, portability. So you can always download a Vagrant file and set it up. Set up a machine in a few minutes. It's just a file. It's a simple file. I'll show you later. And yeah, you can easily just share with your friends. Though I know you can also easily share images, but you don't have to carry around your hard disk to share the setup you have. So I know there was a talk that was, should I call it a talk, a pre-conference, taught people how to set up VirtualBox. So our requirements are here are for this is Vagrant. Should I use this? Use this. Vagrant, VirtualBox, and also you should have about 8 gigs of memory and at least 6 GB RAM. But there's a way I think it could work on a 4 gig RAM, but it might slow your computer down a bit. But that's just technicalities. There are ways you can also reduce the memory the machines use. We'll get into that in the demo. So I have prepared a Vagrant file. So a Vagrant file is what specifies your virtual machines. So if I've hosted on my GitHub, you can check it out here. I'll also share these links at the end, so don't worry about that. So here's the Vagrant file. So yeah, this is it. So if you want to access it, you can do it through Git. Okay, I believe if you know how to, if you have Git, probably you know how to use it. But let me just do it. You do Git. Copy this, and then you come back here, clone, and yeah, it should download it for you in tested Vagrant. So all of the files in the repository should show up in this folder. There was a earlier talked about CD. So what's happening here is I've cloned this. I've cloned my repository. So that's just like I've taken it from GitHub and put it in on my desktop, and then I've gone into the folder that's where the repository files are, and I've just listed them here. So yeah, you can see there's a PDF, there's the presentation. Yeah, so I uploaded my text. Okay, so this is the text, but yeah, don't worry about that. That was what I used to prepare my PDF. And then there's a README. So the README is just this. the Vagrant file. So if we go back to my slides, that's my slide. Yeah, you can also download it using wget. That's just a command line. What do you call it? A command, yeah, for downloading stuff from the web. Or you can just download it as a zip if you're completely new to this. Just come here, download, and download that zip. So it will download, as you can see, it's here. But yeah, let's just leave that alone. It will, yeah, probably interrupt this. Okay. So sorry. So after you get the file, all you have to do is run Vagrant app, and as I said, Vagrant is it's going to do all the setting up for you. So if I could point out, when you run Vagrant app, it will tell you it's bringing up 3 machines. That's my Vagrant file. If you get the other Vagrant file from Rapid 7, guys who make Metasploitable 3, you will find it here. It's here. It's a bit different. I modified it so that it should use less RAM. So I'll get to that. And I've also added a Kali Linux box. But also, if you're running this on a Kali Linux, you don't have to install the Kali box. You can just hack straight from your host. Yep, yeah. So let's get back to this. Come on. I don't know how to use Windows stuff, but anyway. So yeah, so it's gonna bring up. It's gonna tell you it's bringing up Ubuntu, Windows 2008, and a Kali Linux box. So it will import the base box. That's what we saw in the cloud. So this will import it, and it will do all setting up for you. You don't need to go into VirtualBox and download ISOs and or the images, then set up networks. This makes it way easier. So it will boot up everything, and at the end you should have a Kali box that shows up. So you can use this Kali box now for your experimentation at your own leisure. And this is secure because it won't affect the rest of your home network, your work network. It will just be those 3 virtual machines that will be communicating to each other, and yeah, that's safe. That puts you in a safe place. So if I had a video of the whole thing, if I can, yeah, here it is. So I'll be forwarding a bit. So when I run that, it starts up. Oh, one thing also to note is that you have to run Vagrant app inside the folder that has the Vagrant file. If you don't, it will just tell you there's nothing to do here. It will throw an error explaining that. So it's importing. It took me about 1 hour to do this, and that's after I've actually downloaded the boxes themselves. But for you, it might even take you 2 hours. Just depends on your processing power and your internet, but it should be done at the end. Yeah, of course it should be done at the end, but you get what I'm saying. It should be what's the word I'm looking for? It should cooperate basically, and there's some errors you might run into, but don't worry, that's sometimes it's not you, it's just Vagrant. And best thing to do is, as tedious as it may be, just read this and figure out what's happening. Common thing I see is that the network interfaces could be interfering with each other. So if you come to VirtualBox, you should be, this is Oracle VM VirtualBox, the manager. So if you come to File, to Host Network Manager, you should be able to see the virtual networks you have. So if you have a clashing one, for example, if I deleted all this and if I deleted all this and I tried to run Vagrant up again, Vagrant would be trying to make the network interface, but it will be saying there's another one that already exists. So that's a tip you can be looking out for. But otherwise, it should be running well. What other thing can I note as this video? So you see, it was taking long for reasons I don't understand. So let me forward a bit. So yeah, so as you can also see here, if I can take it back and play, into back. So as you can see over here, it's doing its thing, but the same way in the VirtualBox, it's also working on something. So you will see the machine on the VirtualBox just booting up and setting up. So basically, it works like magic, but yeah, not magic per se, but like magic. So it will set up everything for you, and we'll go on. And let's forward ahead. So yeah, this is a part in the file where it gets to, it's called provisioning in Vagrant terms. So if I pop up my text editor, you can see this is what is happening. So these are files that are already inside the Metasploitable 3, the Windows machine. So those are the files being executed. So like this one will disable your firewall, but that's if you set an environment for MS difficult as easy. But that's technicalities. Just leave that if you don't want. This is just Metasploit that have set it up this way. So at the end, it will delete these files, so you might not be able to see exactly. But if you want to play around with the Vagrant machine, you can comment this out and do Vagrant up on a fresh box, and you can be able to go into the files and see what's happening. But you can also see what's happening here. It's using this to set up rules in your firewall, and yeah, that's basically all it's doing. So if we go further, I hope I am being very clear, going step by step. I don't want to confuse anyone. If you have questions, I will be very pleased to take them at the end. And I've also prepared a booklet for you, this booklet. So you'll find it in the repo. You can go through it, and yes, it's a resource. So yeah, just don't be afraid. If anything breaks, that's InfoSec, that's tech for you. Things will break. Be prepared. Okay. So let's go back to this. So now it's setting up our Kali box. I hope everyone can see everything. Maybe just be mumbling. So towards the end, you should see Kali pop up. So it will boot it for you. And zip boots. Let's forward it again. So now here it is. It's finally showing. So you can just wait for it to update. So what I've done for the curly box, I've defined it here. So we'll go through this right now, by the way. So this is what's happening now. It's provisioning. It's just updating it so that you don't have any kind of problems when you're trying to install stuff from inside Kali. So let's go through this, the Vagrant file. The comments in Vagrant file start with the pound sign. So these are comments. What this is showing you is just that the syntax being used below is Ruby syntax, and I'm not a Ruby developer in any way, but I can try and explain in very plain terms how this works. So this is, we're telling Vagrant. So Vagrant configure. So this is the version of configuration. So far there are like 2 versions. So 2 is the latest and it's the most used. So we're gonna use that. So what we're doing, we're telling Vagrant configure and create a file, create an object for us called config. So config will be the object we're using to configure all our boxes, since this is a multi VM environment, meaning that we have many virtual machines in our box, in our environment. Yeah. So this, we access an object using the dot. So we're telling you can say period depending on where you are. So config dot VM. So what we're saying is configure our VM to have a sync folder, current folder in Unix or Unix-like systems. The dot shows you the current folder you are, and this is meant to be a folder in your VM. But since we're configuring many systems at once, many is 3 at this certain scenario. So we disable that just to prevent Vagrant from going mad and throwing you errors telling you there's a mix-up and stuff like that. So the next line is we're telling Vagrant using the config again to define a machine called UB1404. That's our Ubuntu Metasploiter Bolt 3, and we create the object UB1404. So now we use this to specify more about our virtual machine. So for the first line, we tell Vagrant to use this as a base box. So the base box is what I showed you in the cloud, this one's. So of course we're using this. We're using this too. So the first one is this Ubuntu one. So what's happening is that Vagrant will first check if you have it downloaded. If you have it downloaded, and if you don't have it downloaded, it will check the cloud and will begin a download. So what happens is that Vagrant stores the base boxes in a should I'll scroll through my thing. Let's just do this. Hope. There'll be a folder here with boxes. So these are the base boxes. Yeah. So yeah, this is the box. So it's a plain box. So it will just it will check if you have inside this folder if there are boxes that match that. If not, it will start downloading it. So again, we give it a host name. So the host name is the name of your computer. If I could go into VirtualBox for a bit, I hope everyone is with me. We can show the console for this. And yeah, it's good. So usually for most machines from Vagrant, the credentials are always Vagrant. So what I mean by host name is this. So that's your computer name, your host name. This is your username. So that's what's happening here. It sets this up, and then SSH credentials also set up, and then it sets up the private network it should be connected to. So this is now it's IP, but Vagrant will know this and it will set up a network starting from 1, and 1 will identify a network, and then 2 will be the DNS server, and then yeah, 3 will be this machine. And if you see the rest for your Windows, it will be here. So this is also this is an IP for your Windows. And if we go further, excuse me, if you go further, this will be for your Kali box. So let's go back here. So over here, this must be a lot. Yeah, if you get here now, what we're telling these guys, what we're telling Vagrant is that we're using VirtualBox. We're using our provider. Remember, our provider in Vagrant is the virtualization software. So we're telling it use VirtualBox and create an object V, and let's name this box Metasploitable this and this and this, and give it a memory. This is now RAM, and we close that. We close that that part of configuration. This is a part where it actually gives it physical, like, how can I explain this, man? I've tried to explain this so many. So go back here. So this like the system properties. There are more properties you can set up here, but this is all we need for now. So it's gonna use 512 MB of your RAM. So we end, and then we end the configuration for our first box, this box. Then we go next to the Windows one, and we do the same. We tell it what box to pick up. What's the name of our box now that we have it? The virtual machine that we're setting up. The communicator. So this is how your Windows will communicate with your host machine. This is if I'm right, it's called Windows Remote something, Desktop Manager, something like that. Yeah. So same thing, and then it will provision it. That's set up if you want an easy Metasploitable, or if you want a difficult one. Yeah, that will happen here, and then we'll end the configuration for our Windows. As you can see, this is it. So if I am not clear, you can ask me anything. Then this will set up the Kali. So this is also a box in the cloud. Give it a hostname Kali, IP, provide its VirtualBox. The name of our box is Kali, memory 2 GB of RAM. You can change this if you are kind of starved in terms of resources. So yeah, that if you have any question, I'll answer them towards the end. Okay, so next we can try and see if this is in fact true, that it's working. So Vagrant. So yeah, so we are inside our machine now, and it looks fine. Can go to the browser and check if we can view the pages on the other machines. No, not restore. So this is a Windows. You can see it from here, and this is our Ubuntu. We can see stuff from here. I kind of did something before just to test if it's working. So don't worry about some other things here. This is not usually here. So from here, what we can try and do is first step of any kind of what do you call it, pen testing activity. You find out. Okay, since we know our IPs, we can just straight up just look if we can see them. So I'm going to run nmap. So nmap is a resource that used to find out information about ports, kind of OS of systems running in a network. I believe you can also nmap, what do you call them, IPs that are not inside your network, but let's keep things legal. And yeah, that's best. So as you can see, the Metasploitable box has a few open ports, FTP ports, SSH server, and yeah, these other services are running on these ports. The ports are just, the way I describe ports are just like, it's like the way you can plug in something to your USB, but it's now virtual. That's how I describe ports. I don't know if there's a better way to say it. You can definitely do it. So as you can see, we can see the ports open on our Ubuntu. We can check what's next, what's in our Windows machine. Seems down. Oh yeah, okay. I switched it off because of memory. We go to VirtualBox, you'll see that it's powered off. But with Vagrant, we can power it on from here by clearly just pressing start. But since we're using Vagrant, there's no need to use it halfway. We can just do Vagrant amp. What's the name of the machine? Win 2K8. And that should bring up our machine. Let's go and see. So if we look at our VirtualBox, it should be popping up in a bit. I have too much running on my desktop. It's taking a while. Yeah, so it's bringing machine up. Yeah. Let us wait. Oh, seems like my PC a bit slow. Yeah, this is why we don't do live demos. All right, clearly. Well, I think it's a time thing. Let's just wait it out. What else can I? Yeah, just I can't access Discord now. It was beeping a lot, so I've switched it off a bit. But I'll be willing to take questions. I've said that before, yeah. But yeah, I will take. Anyway, this will take a while, so this let's just leave it and Yeah, but the machine should be up. Oh wait, I see what's happening. All right, sorry. So remember when I said it should be in the, you should do that in the box in the folder you already created. Yeah, I did that, and I didn't or wasn't in the one that created these machines. So it was trying to, what it was trying to do, it was trying to create now a new machine. So you'd have seen a new machine pop up down here. So let's just do it in the right folder and it should pop up. Should be faster now. I believe so. It might seem as a lot now, but if you get it, it's totally worth it. It's gonna, you just, if for example you lost everything in in your in your in your hard disk, you can just you get a new PC, get your file from the web, and run Vagrant up, and you have your machines up again. You don't have to carry a lot of your you don't have to carry a lot of hard disks with you externals just to set up machines in new machines. You just need a simple file that you can host somewhere. Yep. So I am about a few minutes to almost the end of the talk, and you can see this. So it's actually a machine. Like if you decide to show it, it can. You see that it's actually a Windows Server 2008. Why not? Let's see if it's this. For some reason, it's not showing. But it's showing here for some weird reason. I don't understand why. Anyway, it should show. This is bad. But yeah, okay. Let's just close it. What's running in the background? Where to put a message running? Machine was pulled. Yeah, we paused it so Vagrant through this error. It's okay. Just leave that alone. It should. I know I'll say this a lot, but it will. It should work. Yeah. So one other cool thing I need to mention is that you don't have to per se go into VirtualBox, and if you have Vagrant, you don't have to go into VirtualBox and oh, here it is. What's wrong with me? So if you go Vagrant, Vagrant, what's wrong with me? This is my first boot, as you can tell, of this machine, the Windows machine. So yeah, you see it's a normal machine, but yeah, just put it in the background. Excuse me. So saying one cool thing about Vagrant is that you don't have to go into VirtualBox. What you can do is just do Vagrant SSH, and I'll do Kali. And, it should take me into Kali without having to look at the interface. So again, my PC chilling. Yeah, so we're inside Kali. As you can see, it's gonna show you this banner explaining to you Kali does this. Yeah, it's free software, licensing, the usual stuff. So if we check our IP, it will show you the IP we set it up for. It won't show you your computer's IP. It will show you this IP. This is another what do you call it? Another adapter, virtual adapter that you've set. But leave this. This was for me. You can switch it off if you want it. If you want to, you can do it. You can do that here. Kali settings and network. You can switch off this one, the first one. Yeah, but just leave that alone. And yeah, you can do the same thing. Nmap to 128, 28. This is the Ubuntu box, and it should show us what's going on there in terms of ports. So you can conduct your whole hack on this space. You don't have to go switch on this. You can just run it in the background. And let's confirm the Windows is up. Yeah, it's up and it's showing the open ports. So yeah, so basically, yep, that's it. So let's go back here. So this is where we were. Slide also has some resources you can see that I think are useful. There's the basics of cybersecurity from Cyberring. I found them really nice. The vulnerabilities for the systems that you can do it, that you can take advantage of and practice on them. Playlist that I like, and awesome hacking for more information about more than just Metasploit, and yeah, what we've done today. So yeah, this is my thank you. I want to thank you everyone for listening, organizers, the talks that have happened and that to come, and yeah, just don't worry, man. Always remember, try to lay a brick every day. You don't have to know everything, but if you build up your knowledge day to day, you will definitely have enough to do something really nice eventually. Yeah. So you can contact me on Twitter, Mwawuda. I have a small blog, and yeah, you can email me here. So I'll be welcoming questions from you guys now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really cool. That was a great presentation, and it seems like everybody was really enjoying that and the content that you had there. So we do have some questions.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so let's see here. The first question is there a cloud interface to Vagrant? And how do you access your boxes when they're stored in the Vagrant cloud?
Your boxes, like, okay, I'm not understanding the question. I have not developed, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the question is kind of like if you or I had a Vagrant machine that we created, where are those files stored? Are they on my PC or are they in the cloud? And if they are in the cloud, how do I get to
them? I have not developed a box myself, so I don't think I'm in a position to answer that.
Gotcha. And maybe the person who asked that can provide some clarity in Discord if I didn't ask that correctly. And then the other question is, are you using your own system resources? So like hard drive space, RAM, all of that.
Yes, I am doing that.
Yeah. It's not like using AWS or Azure, where the computer is actually in the cloud. I think this is where I think Vagrant just stores the images. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is it possible to set up firewalls and that sort of thing in your Vagrant virtual environment, like pfSense?
No, I've not done that, so I don't know if it's possible. But I believe it should be.
Yeah, I would think so too, just because of how virtualization works. If you wanted to do some networking there, you could integrate a firewall. And like you said, people have created boxes, so they might be able to find a pfSense something in the Vagrant shop.
Yep.
Awesome.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Let's see here. So this question is, it looks like Vagrant is great for provisioning new virtual machines, multiple machines at once. Is there a way to spin up pre-provisioned machines, such as ones that are hosting local web pages or have specific software packages already installed or configured with custom settings? Do you know about that at all?
No,
Okay.
I feel like I think if you, let's say, if you explore the cloud, the Vagrant cloud, you should find like, for example, I showed you the Laravel one that already has certain software inside it, and all you just have to do is spin it up and run your Laravel machine, your application. So I believe there should be certain machines that already have pre-configured stuff inside them.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think the Metasploitable 3 and Cowley are examples of that, you know. It's all provisioned there for you. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like somebody in the chat says you can make your own Vagrant boxes using Packer.io. So that's kind of cool.
All right, cool.
Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions. So this is just kind of a general question, and you can take it or we can share it, whatever you want to do here. But somebody was asking, what technical skills would you need to become a penetration tester?
Kind of skills. That's I think depends on exactly what you want to attack. It's a wide range of skills, but first Linux basics. Those you should learn Linux basics, and if you're doing network, just network basics. Learn how TCP works, how UDP works, such things, and just get the basics. Learn how things work, and if you want to break into, like, say, like a PHP WordPress site, learn how WordPress works, what sites are there, what permissions it allows, and then from there you can try and use the tools, and then from then on you'll understand more, and that's how pen testing is all about growing, I believe, and learning more and increasing what you can break into and what you can not break into. Yeah, that kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's so true. And just like your quote says, you know, it's laying a brick every day and learning bits and pieces of how things work. In order to know how to break something and take advantage of it, you have to know how it's supposed to work properly, and then you can go from there. I think that learning the basics is really important, and that's kind of why we put this con together, is to cover those things. So you don't, you know, we hear a lot that you need to learn the basics, and sometimes it can be hard to find that information. So hopefully you're able to get some of that here. Yeah, I think that a lot of what you said is true. Learning the command line is huge, and there's some good CTFs out there that do that, that teach command line, and have some entry level kind of skills that you need to have to move up the capture the flag ladder, if you will. Awesome. Let's see, do we have any other questions here? I think we have answered all of our questions here. Awesome. Well, I seriously appreciate you taking time to do this presentation and all the effort you put into this. This is a really cool talk. I think a lot of people are going to benefit from it. I know I learned some stuff. I've played with Vagrant a little bit, and I didn't realize that you could do so much. So that's awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.